Hey guys, Fam Traveler 87 here. I hope that you guys are doing well. So I'm gonna jump right into this video. There's a lot to unpack. Now, at first, I wasn't really sure how I felt about Angel. I had a lot of mixed feelings, but the more I saw him on screen and the more that I've observed, I started to realize how well he resonates with someone like me, because there is a part of myself that has faced challenges where I was in a very toxic relationship where I felt stuck because I felt too guilty of wanting to leave the one person that I had loved very much. But also at the same time, he didn't have my best interest at heart. He was very emotionally manipulative. He wasn't like physically abusive or anything, but it just, what I see between Angel and Valentino, a lot of it hits very close to home. And I wasn't really sure whether or not I would make this video, but I really feel like I have to get all my feelings and thoughts out there. And I mean, I was like in tears because I really do feel bad for Angel. We all know what Valentino is capable of, but I never imagined that Angel's first interaction with Vox would have ever occurred the way that it did. It definitely wasn't something that, I thought of at first. I never could imagine it, but considering Vox's attitude towards Angel, it's really not that surprising. But I mean, I just wanted to smash the dude's screen in so bad. But really, there's theories that have been thrown around, like what could happen potentially in season 3 as far as Angel is concerned. We do not know the full terms of Angel's contract with Valentino. We just know one minor detail. Especially when Angel had confronted Val at that nightclub, when he was with Nifty. Basically, the only thing we know that is within the contract agreement is Val can do anything or say anything to Angel Dust when he is within the studio, but Angel is free to do whatever he wants outside of that. And, well, the thing is, what really gets me is that there has been plenty of instances, I'm sure, that Valentino has violated the terms of that contract. There was a breach. It is strongly evident that Valentino had blatantly, explicitly, and deliberately exploited his abuse towards Angel Dust while out in public, especially by hitting him at that nightclub back in season 1. And for me, that would be grounds for contract termination, which would make it null and void, in my opinion, which would make perfect sense. Now, I think that would be a loophole for Angel breaking his contract with Val and regaining his freedom. Then you gotta take into consideration all the threatening voicemails and text messages, which I think would also be prime examples of Valentino violating the terms of the contract. And then, of course, at least Angel Dust was safe at the hotel, even just temporarily, whenever he could escape, because I think that if Valentino just stormed over there, guns blazing, and threatening to shoot up the place, and trying to force Angel Dust out of there, that would also be another example of him violating the terms of the contract. I would assume so, that if this is the case, with all these repeated offenses that just slowly over time, there is a possibility that if that continues, if that cycle continues, very likely Angel Dust will finally be able to get away from Val completely. But then again, we also have somebody who is a very powerful overlord, whose greatest strength is intimidation. And as I said before, Valentino is very charismatic, and he uses fear as a weapon. Other than that, I think that he's entirely useless as a character overall. Valentino primarily exists as the type of villain that you love to hate. Just somebody you can just rage at while he's on screen, and his face is just so punchable. He's really just that terrible. Then, of course, I don't know if there's anyone worse than Val. But he's probably the worst villain. And I'm not really saying that I'm not just saying that because I think he sucks. Well, I mean, which he does. But he's only interesting enough to make me sick. Other than that, he really just bores the hell out of me. But, whatever. I don't know. It's just a really weird thing, But I I don't know. It's just he's just one of those guys that it kind of reminds me of some snooty rich boy that lives next door that flaunts his fancy cars and all of his money around and acts like he's the center of it all, but he's just the extra in the background. So, but whatever. Anyway, I hope that things will turn around for Angel Dust. I'm sure that a lot of you were disappointed with the outcome. I kind of had wished that Angel had decided to stay with his friends, but I know that he was terribly insecure, especially with what happened. He almost could have killed Cherry by strangling her during that fight with Val, and it was just... I am worried about him, but at the same time, I'm trying to stay optimistic. The only other chance that Angel would have is to kill Valentino and thus become an overlord, which I know is very far-fetched because I know it's became more of an alternative universe type of deal. But boy, wouldn't that make a good plot twist for season 3? I honestly, I would love to see that. It would definitely excite me, but I don't know. Everything's kind of up in the air, and everyone's just making their own predictions. But really, I really hope that Husker Dusk officially becomes a thing. That's really what I'm hoping for. It might be the only canon-on-canon ship that I would really go for, is those two. Valentino can just stick his dinghy in a wall socket for all I care. I really hope the bastard fries himself for my amusement, but honestly, a girl can dream. As a side note, I also was a fan of Cherry and Husk teaming up to kick his ass. Boy, that was so satisfying to watch. Especially when Cherry had knocked him out the window and he was hanging upside down. Oh boy. Yeah, that was probably my favorite scene. I'm not sure what else I can cover for this topic. But I honestly, I wish, and I just really hope for the best for Angel. I hope that he finds a safe way out of this. And I hope that he gets the happiness that he truly deserves. Oh, there was another thing. It is well implied that in life Valentino was an artist. And that he was destroyed by a toxic relationship himself, and thus mimicking the behaviors that his abuser had inflicted on him. So, honestly, to me, that seems to me that would make a lot of sense, too. And it's really symbolic in a way. I mean, he was practically drawn like a moth is to a flame. And thus, that's what killed him. I would assume that he had OD'd or something. But really, that's just my take on it. And thus, that's why, with adult films and such, that he's involved with as part of his profession, that really reflects on his artistry. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep hoping and praying for Angel. My prayers are with him. I hope that poor boy gets the justice that he so desperately needs. Because that guy needs a break. He seriously needs some hugs. And I honestly hope that he finds love too. And I hope it's with Husker. Please. That would be so nice. But I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching. And just stay tuned until the next video. Bye-bye.